Well, g'day there, and welcome to episode 13 of Welcome to Consciousness. And today I want to do something different. I want to help you create a powerful morning routine, or it could be an evening routine, that's going to help you live not from just your mindset, but from your soul set, where you connect with your soul, your true essence, your conscious self. And over the past 3.5 years, I've poured myself into personal growth, which turned into a deep healing and awakening journey, and awakening to my soul and to my truth and living from my heart. And I continue to do that now. And over that time, I've invested my energy and my time and my money. I've invested well over $100,000 over the past few years into coaching, into healing, into programs, into different therapies and things that are going to help me shift. And I had some hard shit to get through, some trauma, some fears, some mental illness, and some other big obstacles amongst that. And through all of that, one of the most helpful things that I've developed is a powerful morning routine. And the thing that I love about this is you can create it just the way that's going to serve you in the stage that you're at and what you need now. And if you don't know what you need, this is the best way to just get started, to start taking some action, to start to shift your mindset and your soul set and even your physical body so that you can be ready to take the next step and you can live from your heart and be more connected with who you are and start to live out your soul journey, your soul's purpose journey that you're here to live. And so you could spend a lot of money in investing in a program that will help you essentially just take the action that you need to. And if you feel to invest into spending that kind of money, then 100% go for it. I have no regrets about taking those steps. It has allowed me to expand and grow in so many ways, to build my business, to make more money, to attract more abundance, and to heal more deeply. So it's a win-win situation as long as you're committed to your true journey. But we do run into some obstacles along the way. And let's face it, doing the inner work, doing the healing, facing our fears, overcoming traumas, healing the body, the mind, our emotions, our spirit, it takes a lot of energy. And it can be really fucking hard just to do it, just to hold space for those things that have been suppressed from experiences that we've had from our childhood, that have been passed on in our ancestry, that we've picked up collectively from culture around us. And so we need something that's going to hold us and keep us grounded. And what a morning routine really does is it helps us keep coming back to our center. It helps us to really come back to our grounding and to our hearts, to our intuition. And so this is really a conscious morning routine. And so it's got some nuances in it compared to what you would experience if we were just living from our mindset. And so I have created this PDF which guides you in creating this. And you can actually head to my website on michaelreed.earth and you can get a copy of this and you can design this for yourself, or you can just grab a piece of paper and follow along, and you can do it right now. One thing that's really important to note is that it takes 21 days to create a new habit or a new mindset or a new belief or a new thinking pattern. But it also takes 90 days to really integrate it into our subconscious. So when you do something like this and you create a new habit for, let's say, this conscious morning routine, for example, you really need to stick at it for 90 days. Now, it doesn't mean you have to do the exact same thing and doesn't mean you can't adjust it and shift it. But if you want to get a lasting impact and change for it to create a real shift in your life, you need to stick at it for 90 days. And so do this in mind with not what you can achieve in a day or a week or in the next month. Look at this as what can you do? It's almost for the rest of your life if you needed to. What's something that's going to help set your everyday up so that you can live your most truest and your best life, true to yourself and true to your soul? So the first thing you'll do is you can write your name down, and then first have a think about how long do you want to spend on your routine each day. And you'll also have a think about how many days of the week do you want to do it. Now, if you're really serious about shifting things, I think 4 or 5 times a week is a good place to start. But if that feels like too much, just start with 2 or 3 times a week. And if you really get into this, there's nothing stopping you from doing it 7 times a week. I'll just say to have a bit of fluidity in it if you're going to go 7 times a week, so that it doesn't become all about reaching a goal and all about a discipline that you're pushing yourself to do. It's a bit of a balance. It is a discipline. It requires that masculine energy of structure of I'm going to do this and I'm going to stick to it. But it also requires us to feel into our feminine energy of resting and going with the flow and looking after our needs and our personal self-care. And sometimes that's just to chill out and to switch off and to rest, because at the end of the day, consciousness is about creating that space and that gap between our busy minds and our busy lives and everything that's going on that might feel chaotic around us, and just saying, hey, I'm going to create that gap because I am consciousness. I'm not just a mind that's part of this chaotic lifestyle or world that I've got in Western culture. And if you're like me and you're married and you've got 4 kids and you run 2 businesses, or even if you've just got 1 or 2 kids, or you don't have kids and you run a business, or you work a job and you're involved with community and you do different things, the days fly by and life can feel really busy, let alone spending some time on social media and other forms of entertainment and things that we do. So the first thing I want you to do is think about what you're going to include. So let's just say that you start off with 30 minutes. You're going to commit 30 minutes a day to doing this, let's say 4 times a week. There are 3 things that I have found to be really important to include in your conscious morning routine. And there are some other ideas which I'll share as well. But the 3 non-negotiables for me are, first of all, a stillness. Now you get to choose what that means and how you experience that. And I actually recommend experimenting with different things. But stillness, let's say you spend 10 minutes in stillness. That can be 10 minutes of meditation. It could be a guided meditation. It could be a mantra. It could be listening to some quiet music. It could be just switching off. It could be observing your mind. It could also be breath work. You could do a guided breath work where you do a breathing. Wim Hof has some great ones, but there are lots of different ones and ways that you could do this. You could also go into nature and just spend 10 minutes. I'm going to fully switch off from everything else and just spend 10 minutes in nature. And that really helps people. I've actually got a couple of bonus meditation recordings in earlier podcast episodes if you want just a 10-minute stillness practice. The second thing that I recommend to include is intention. This is going into our mindset, but it's also going into our energy. Intention can be the words that we speak. It can be the goals that we have. It can be where we want to intend for our energy to go. It really helps us create that mindset and that soul set that we're going to take into our day. What I love about this, and this is a whole nother thing that you can create that clarity on who you are and how you want to show up and where you want to move towards and who you want to be. Because when you do that, 2 powerful things happen. Number 1 is that you start to integrate it into your subconscious, and subconsciously you start to create ways to make that reality happen. Let's just say you want more connected relationships, and that's part of your intention. I want to have more connection in my relationships, say with friends or a partner or your kids or anyone you want it to be. And so setting that intention is going to help integrate that into your subconscious mind, but it's also going to help you come up with ideas that you wouldn't have of how you can move towards that. Now that you've set that intention, you might think, well, I'll send this message, I'll say this compliment to this person, I'll go and give this person a hug, whatever you feel to do. And subconsciously, you'll find ways to create it. You might have an intention to develop a business that you've got, or to have a pay rise, or to make more money and to work less. And as you set these intentions, you'll start to come up with ideas. and realize, oh, it'll be your subconscious. But another powerful thing that happens, and it ties into the law of attraction, is that you literally, because of your new thoughts, especially if you tie that in with an emotion that matches it, and you tie it in with action that aligns with it, is that you will start to attract opportunities and people and things to yourself that will help make that a reality. And that's when we start to become a powerful creator of our lives. That's why this can be powerful to have this morning routine. And so you could create 10 minutes for your intention. Now, you might just want 5 minutes. To be honest, I spend a lot more time in the stillness part than the intention. But let's just say you were to spend 10 minutes, just to keep it simple, on your intention. And what that's going to look like is you reading over or just reflecting on setting your intentions of who you want to be. I recommend having something written out about how you want to go in your day, about the things that you're working towards, what you're attracting into your life. There's a whole lot of different manifestation tools and techniques. You could do that. You might write out the same thing 25 times that is attracting what you want to yourself. And the third thing that I recommend to include, and let's just say you allow 10 minutes for this, is movement. This is physical movement. This helps us really embody the shifts that we are experiencing in the stillness and the intentions and bringing it into our physical body. Now, this can look like a lot of different things. You can go for a more high intensity, more masculine approach to your movement, which could be running or high intensity workout, or it could be weightlifting or some kind of strength training. Or it could be something that's more go with the flow and it's more soft and more of that soft embodiment practice, which yoga is incredible for and so many people do. It could be some kind of dance. It could just be simply stretching. It could be rolling. It could be anything that just helps get your body moving, helps you get into your body, and helps to shift out some of that old stagnant energy that you became probably aware of through your stillness, and that maybe got a little triggered through your intention, because what we're really doing is we're overriding past programming and past conditioning about all those physically, all those neurons that have been set, all those neurochemical reactions that have been triggering basically the person that we are and the way that we think, and we're recreating that. And when we're going into energy, we're going into that at a really foundational level. And our minds and our emotions and our spirits and our bodies are all interconnected. They all relate to each other. That's why when we're talking about trauma sometimes, it's essential to understand that the trauma is in the body, because what's happening in the mind gets integrated into the body. And so what's in the body is a reflection of what's in the mind, and all of it connects to the energetic state that we're in as well, or that what we're holding subconsciously or unconsciously. And so the thing that I love about this is that when you strengthen your body, you can strengthen your mind, or vice versa. Or when you strengthen your energy field, you can also strengthen your body and your mind. And the thing that's really powerful about this is that sometimes we can't fully connect with our truth, with our hearts, with our gifts, with our passion. And it requires us to go on a journey of integrating, of changing, of transformation, of healing. And sometimes that starts with the physical body, some of the aches and pains, or maybe we've just been treating our body like shit in the way that we eat, the way we sleep, the way we hydrate, the routine that we have. Or maybe it's our minds, it's cleaning up, it's drawing some boundaries, and I'm not going to consume so much social media or so much entertainment that's just cluttering my mind, and I'm going to cut some of that off, and I'm going to start to look after myself, and that's going to give me some energy to go a little bit deeper into who I am. And that's why many people on a conscious path end up living very clean lifestyles, because they're just continuing, they're spiraling in. They're like, all right, I'm going to declutter my life. I'm going to go against the grain of all the conditioning that's been there, because I'm deeply detoxing, letting go of all this unconsciousness that's been programmed by society. And now I'm connecting with myself and my true self. So when you combine these three things, stillness, intention, and movement, and you do those things regularly, either nearly every day, or even if you want to start it 2 times a week, you're going to start to shift yourself so that you can go in the direction that your heart really wants to go in. And I'll just share some other ideas which you might want to include in your routine. And by the way, I've often made this a 90-minute routine. So I've got 4 young kids in a business, so I'd get up often at 5:30 in the morning till 7 o'clock. That would be my time for my routine. And another thing I wanted to point out with the stillness, with the meditation, is that I've been taught this, and I believe I've experienced this so much, is that 20 minutes of stillness meditation is equivalent to an hour of sleep. And so I realized it was more valuable to get up, say 20 minutes earlier, and really drop into the stillness than to get that extra 20 minutes of sleep and then not have got the benefits of those changes of doing that morning routine. Now I'll get back on track. And the other ideas here is you could integrate like a growth or a learning. It might be a course that you're doing and that you really want to stick at. So create 20 minutes, for example, in your morning routine to do that course that you're doing, or to read a book that you really want to do, or some other kind of practice that's important to you. If you do some other kind of physio or healing or other therapy, it's a good idea to integrate it into your morning routine. And remember, you may change this in a month, you may change it in 3 months. It's going to be something that you continue to create that serves you, but you only get the benefits out of it if you actually do it. Another thing that you can do is you can do different emotional releases or energetic releases. You can use various types of muscle testing. You can use various approaches like emotional freedom technique, which is tapping. You can use the emotion code to release trapped emotions. You can use somatic techniques, which is feeling into your body where there's tension, and you can use your intention and your energy to move that out. You could also integrate any type of self-care or self-love or self-pleasure into your morning routine, if that's what you know that you're needing. You can also mix this up. So you might have different approaches on different days. For example, I've typically done 2 or 3 days of something that's more higher intensity, or that's a run or a jog for my movement, but then 2 or 3 days which is more flowy. It might be yoga, it might be dancing, it might be dynamic stretching routine and things like that. And also, it's also good to just feel into where you're at on the day. So sometimes you're up for more heavier approach or more intense approach, and sometimes it's more lighter. Sometimes it's more feeling the experience of the movement, and sometimes it's being more structured and focus on getting it done, and maybe even having a goal. I used to run half marathons like at least once a month, and I would run hard at least 3 or 4 times a week. I don't do that now. When I run, it's very soft. I run and I walk and I go slowly, and that's because that's serving the deeper healing that is happening in my body and in my subconscious and in my spirit. And that's what is best serving me, even though my mind often wants to run harder and run faster. But it's good to just be in tune with that and to adjust things. And going harder and doing more is not necessarily the thing that's going to move you forward. It hits a limit. So on this PDF, if you are looking at the video, you can list the things that you want to include, how long you're going to do it, and then some of your favorite methods or tools or practices that you want to remember when you do practice it. Let's just say it's going to be a guided meditation. I'll write that one down, or a Wim Hof breathing, write that down, or conscious awareness meditation, which is earlier on the podcast. Then you'll write down the stillness, intention, movement, maybe it's self-love or some growth or emotional release, and how long you'll do it for. And then you can actually write in what days of the week you're going to do it. You really need to commit to doing this. It's not just going to happen. Now, once you've done it for 90 days, I don't even think about it. I just do it. And some days on the weekends, I just drop it, or on a random day, and I go with the flow like that. But it's so integrated into my life over the past 3.5 years that I just know I'm going to do it. I'm going to come back to it. And I don't get up at 5:30 every morning, but still there'll be 2 or 3 mornings a week where I get up and really do that extended stillness practice in that quiet part of the day. And what you can also do with this tracker is you could create a whole nother tracker, but you could use this for once a week, and you can just click when it's done. All right, I planned I was going to do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and now I can tick when it's done, and that's just for a bit of your own accountability. Now, that's the main guts of creating a conscious morning routine or a powerful morning routine. And this is something you develop and becomes yours. But there are some other really helpful things that you can incorporate into your day that are going to make your morning routine way more effective, and just your conscious living and lifestyle, and creating your life from your heart, from your true self. And so I want to give you these things to think about as well. The first one is sleep. To me, my morning routine really starts the night before with a high quality sleep. And I won't go into too many things, but I really recommend at least 7 or 8 hours of quality and quantity sleep. Now, when I had 4 kids under 5, when I started personal growth, I think I had 4 kids under 7 or so, getting all that sleep wasn't always possible. And that's just the way that it is. We have different stages and different seasons, but there was a lot of things that I still could do about how I wound down to sleep, how I prioritized it, how I disciplined other things. You can get the blue light blocking glasses. You can use more red or orange lights in the evening. You can change your light globes to be more conducive to that. You can use melatonin tablets to help kick in that natural sleep cycle. To do that, you can get them online. The second thing I recommend looking at is your nutrition. It's looking at your eating. So think about, how's your eating going? I recommend to have really an 80-20 rule, where 80% you're focused on nutritional and healthy eating, meals, habits, and all of that, which might look like 2 or 3 healthy meals every day that you commit to. When I started my personal growth, I committed to eating 3 healthy meals every day. One of my intentions was to have the healthiest 12 months that I'd ever have. And that turned into actually a pretty deep detox. And that was really helping me let go of so many unconscious things. I recommend balancing your sugar intakes, especially of the processed sugars, of increasing your fresh and your whole foods, and also really learning yourself, like observe your body, keep track of what kind of foods energize you and what ones drain you. Have a look at the foods that 20 minutes after you eat them, you feel great, and which ones after you feel lethargic and feel tired or heavy. And start to adjust your habits around that. It's about listening to your body because it's already speaking to you. I've found that smoothies can be a great way to jam-pack some nutrition into your breakfast or into an afternoon snack that's really going to be sustaining. You can put so many great things. Now, there's so much we could talk. That could be a whole topic of its own, but it really is important. I said I recommend 80%. When I was really focused on this, it was like 95%. And I don't necessarily recommend going 100% because otherwise we can just get too focused and obsessed with it, and there is no 100%, because these things will continue to change. Like the nutrition that's going to serve you, the eating habits, they're going to change as you move through different stages, as your nervous system is in different states, as all the systems of your body strengthen and heal. But also, when you're processing some deep stuff, it can put a lot of strain on that integration, or as those things are coming to the surface into your conscious mind, and then that can take a lot of energy. So your sleep and nutrition are really important. The next thing is your hydration. It's essential to keep yourself hydrated with water, with tea. And a good guide here is around 2 litres a day. There are so many different opinions, but if you can just keep that hydration up, it's really going to help you feel a lot fresher. It's going to help you clear out a lot of toxins, and it's just going to help clean your energy out as well. It's just got an amazing way of doing that. The last thing that I want to say on this as an option is some supplements. Now, I don't currently take supplements, but supplements, if your health is struggling or your nervous system is under a lot of pressure, or you've got some kind of mental health challenges, then they can be a really great way that really supports your health and your healing. And I've found that a really high quality, and you've got to invest money into these things, is a high quality like greens / multivitamins / stress support kind of supplement. I've often used a powder that you can mix in, like a greens powder. And you can also visit a naturopath for a little bit of guidance on that. Again, you've got to be prepared to invest into it. But ideally, we want to get to a point of like holistic balance where you don't really need the supplements because you've got such a healthy lifestyle and your body has healed to a point that it's essentially generating all the nutrition and all the goodness that it needs. There's a concept that your body is the best pharmacy of all because it's got everything, all the drugs and all the chemicals that you need. And when we start to experience that holistic health, that state of equilibrium or homeostasis that we get in the mind and body when the mind and body is calm and regulated, and we're in that parasympathetic nervous system state, the body actually can supply most of what it needs. Now, I'm not saying there's not exceptions, that there aren't different needs for different people. And what I am saying is that I 100% recommend the use of various supplements along your journey if you need that extra support. One thing that I've found to be very helpful are mushroom extracts. And what I mean by that is some examples are chaga mushroom, lion's mane, and reishi are 3 of my favorites that I've used over the years. And I found that they can really help to regulate and calm and balance the nervous system and immune system. And what I found really amazing about these is that they are a real balancer, because if you're a bit too anxious and wound up, they can bring you down. But if you're a bit flat and a bit depressed, they can help pick you up as well. And it's just different, so different to so many other supplements or substances that we can have. Something to be aware of, I feel, is caffeine as well, because caffeine really, it doesn't give you energy, it harnesses the energy that you've already got in your body, which means if you're already in a state of kind of hypervigilance or your nervous system is already drained and in overdrive, then really what caffeine is doing is making your nervous system and your body work faster, and it's pulling on that energy that's already there so that you can utilize it. But if you've already drained all that energy and you're already in that sort of negative zone, or you've got anxiety or other mental health challenges, it's probably just going to put more drain on your energy. And it can also really just affect your sleep routines as well. So I'm not saying never have it, but I'm saying listen to your body. Listen to what you need and what's going to serve you and what's going to be helpful for you. See, the difference with mushroom extracts, for example, is that they will help supply an energy rather than, they're not just going to pull energy out of what's already there. They're going to help bring in some energy. Or a smoothie, for example. Like 100%, if you're going to have a coffee or a smoothie, then go the smoothie. Unless your health is absolutely amazing and you've got all the energy and you're doing fantastic and it's going to give you another boost to really focus in the next 1 hour, then go for it. And of course, this is just my experience from my perspective. And I really hope that this has helped you in one way or another. If you're sitting there and you think this is great, I'd love to implement more of this, but I just don't think I'm going to do it, then what you need a coach to help support you and to help you be accountable along the way. And if that's something that resonates with your heart, I've got some spots available in my heart-centered coaching. You can just do some one-off sessions at the moment I'm offering, or you can do a package, which is my transformational package, which is heart-centered transformational coaching. And that's where you really dive in for either 3 or 6 months. And you really apply these things and you go deeper into your consciousness, into your energy, into your purpose, into creating your lifestyle, into taking your power back, into being true to yourself, into letting go of some of the past that's holding you back, into being really clear into who you want to be and where you want to go, having clear intentions, having a stronger mindset, having a stronger spirit, an energetic set and soul set. It's something that's going to help you connect with yourself. You don't have to be already on a deep conscious path. You just need to be open and willing to connect with yourself and listen to what's within. And it's a time to trust yourself and to back yourself. So if that resonates with you, whether you listen to this now or down the track, then reach out. We can have a chat about it. I want to be able to help and support you along your way, but at the same time, I want you to know that everything that you need to live a conscious life, to live a heart-centered life, to live your purpose is within you. You don't need a program. You don't need a certain modality. You don't need somebody else. And I say you don't need those things, but in the reality is that sometimes we do need those things because we need help to get across that line. We need help to see the blind spots that we can't see. We need the support because it's so heavy to do some of this healing, to lift up some of these layers that have been unconscious for so long. And so I have experienced that it is so important to reach out and get the help that you need. Whatever's coming up, there's someone that can help you move forward into the next step. So this is your journey. This is your path. You are the one that is creating your life wherever you're at now. You've created it, whether consciously or subconsciously or unconsciously. And you have the opportunity now with this new awareness to consciously create your life and your future. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you've got value out of this. Have a fantastic day and week. So there we have it. Thanks for joining me on Welcome to Consciousness. My name's Michael Reed, and I'm here to help you consciously live and create your life. If you enjoyed this, please click subscribe and follow. There's a lot more to come. Also, if you could rate or review it, this would really help others find this show. Also, if you want to share this with a friend or on your social media, please go for it. And if you have any questions about your journey, please reach out. I'll answer them directly or on the podcast. And lastly, if you want personal help consciously living and creating your life, I've created a coaching program that helps you do just that. You can head to my website for more info. So thanks again. Have a fantastic day. Look forward to seeing you next time.